In this video, we're going to take the new 2022 Nissan Frontier out to 100 miles on the highway to figure out what sort of realistic fuel economy numbers you can expect. Before we get started, let's hop out and take a look at this truck. Now, for frequent viewers on the channel, not only did I change up the intro, but I'm also shooting this at night. And that second one's not exactly intentional. We've had a busy schedule lately, and there's only so much time to get in all the shooting and editing. It's pretty much a one-man shop here outside of Chris Brower and Alyssa and Nathan's help here and there. But anyway, you guys all care about the Nissan Frontier. So we're shooting this thing at night. You're going to get a little bit of night driving experience, but most importantly, if you do want to see more on the truck, check the links in the description. We've got a DM test drive in the day. We've got a Fender audio system review, which we're going to be shooting some more of right now. This new truck is hot. I really like it so far. I've liked spending time with it. It's got a lot of merits. So we'll talk about a little bit of those while we're driving on the highway. But if you do want to see more, check the links in the description. So, why do we do this test? Well, the EPA's highway fuel economy test, which gives this Frontier 22 miles per gallon, just 22 miles per gallon in four-wheel drive form like this. That test only averages 48 miles per hour. We know there are people who take their vehicles, yes, even trucks, out on long road trips and would like to know what sort of numbers they can realistically expect in the real world. So in order to do that, we're going to head over to the gas station here. We're going to fill up, go out, do 50 miles out, and then 50 miles back in the same direction, come back to the same pump, fill up using the same 3-click fueling method, and get a result. Some things to note for today: outside temperatures currently 71 degrees Fahrenheit. Tire pressures have been set to their door placard. I think it was 36 psi. No, I think it was actually 35. Must have been 35 psi. Cold. And we are going to run the climate control at 73 degrees auto. Now, that probably won't use the climate control, or rather the air conditioning today, but that's just how people use their cars. They got to be comfortable, so that's how we do this test. Fill up here at pump number 4, do a stop, hop out and get this thing fueled up. 12.582 gallons going in for our initial fill. Before we actually start the engine, I'm going to get our GPS reset, and I did not bring my mount today. Also going to reset our trip computers, and we're ready to begin. No sorts of dry modes here in the Frontier, you just got D. So we are in D mode, and we're going to drive over to the highway. I'm going to not get hit by this F-150 that doesn't have their lights on. Curious to see how long that takes. The highway's about half a mile away. Pick up the test from there. The goal of this test isn't to hypermile. We're not trying to get the best possible fuel economy number, but rather a realistic fuel economy number. In order to do that, we're going to get up to highway speed here at a reasonable pace. Set our cruise control to a GPS indicated 72 miles per hour. We typically do 73, but since we're testing here at night, there's going to be a lot less traffic, and we're going to have a much better chance of averaging 70 miles per hour by just going 72. You do have adaptive cruise control in the new Frontier, at least in this SV trim. I think I might have had to get some sort of technology package in order to get it, but we have it nonetheless. Looks like the car's speedometer is actually quite accurate according to the GPS, so we should be able to sit at 72 on the cruise. Actually, that's giving us 71 on the GPS. Let's bump it up one. 73. There we are. That should be good. Initial highway observations. This thing feels like a truck. It's actually a decent bit quiet. It's got some pretty passenger car spec tires on it, which I actually appreciate here in this SV trim. But wind noise is fairly average for a truck, and you definitely still have a little bit of that kind of body engine rumble noise like a truck does as well. So we're going to continue on with the rest of the test and catch up with you at the end. In the meantime, enjoy this time lapse of the entire trip.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
Coming into the end of the highway fuel economy test here in the Frontier, we did actually end up swapping this to a 50-mile test. I forgot that vehicles that don't typically do too well in fuel economy would drop to 50 miles. Plus, it's late. Plus, I'd go broke if we ran every truck that got 23 miles per gallon on 100-mile loops. But that being said, the car's trip computer wasn't really changing in terms of how much fuel economy we're getting. So we're at 22.8 right now, and we've been averaging 69 miles per hour over the test, which is right about where we'd be if we did the whole 100 miles as well. This thing actually is a pretty good highway cruiser though. It's a little wandery, just like a truck. There's a little play in the steering, but it's comfortable. You've got padded places for both your arms. Like I said, it's decently quiet. And this Fender audio system is actually much, much better than I expected. So if you do want to see that, check the link in the description, but I've been really impressed by it. I think you would be too. Let's throw in the photo here of the dash. I know we haven't been doing that a lot lately, but just under 2,000 RPM at 73 miles per hour here. Thank you, 9-speed. And it looks like we've used about an 1/8 tank of gas over 50 miles. So let's get it back to the pump, fill it up, see what we get. 2.519 gallons going in for our final fill. 54.5 divided by 2.519 is giving us only 21.6 miles per gallon, rounding up to 22. So the Frontier is meeting its EPA number, but falling 1 mile per gallon short of its dash. It said 23 miles per gallon when we pulled back up. We do have a 21-gallon fuel tank on board, so 21 gallons times 22 miles per gallon is giving you an effective highway cruising range of 460 miles here in the Frontier. Now, despite this engine being one of my favorites, probably my favorite engine and transmission combination in the mid-size truck market, gotta say those numbers are a bit disappointing if you're going to do a lot of highway driving. With the 3.6 liter in the Canyon AT4, so even in the off-road trim, we managed 24 miles per gallon in this test, and the Ridgeline got 28. So 22, the Frontier is not exactly outstanding. But for a lot of people, if you're doing more local type stuff, or if you're towing or something like that, that might be totally fine. Thank you all so much for watching. If you do want to see more on the Frontier, check the links in the description, and we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.